out there. A lot. I know of many personally. What message do you have for men out there who feel that they're not a man if they don't have a job and they're trying to look for one? Because one of the things that I always said to myself growing up was that if I don't have a job or if I am not making money, I don't feel like a man. That's just always been, for some reason, my platform. And well, I said to myself, well, then, okay, let's just say if I don't have a job, if I'm not making money, am I not a man? Am I any less of a man? And so I think at some point we need to figure that out. What are you all's thoughts on that as far as men and their jobs and whether they have one or not? Does that add to their masculinity or does it take away from it? Or does it not make a difference one way or the other in regards to their jobs?
Well, definitely, especially if you have a family, guys want to be the provider. And, as you said, the economy, has gotten worse than what it has been. But definitely, if you're trying and you have faith that something is going to come up, it's definitely bound to come up. You have to claim those things that are not as though they were. Sometimes things that don't look so good, you have to know that it's working out better for you. Most definitely. I think you are more humble when things happen that way. When you don't get that promotion that you wanted at first, you work harder for it. As men, and even as time goes by, men have to work harder. The workforce is getting more competitive no matter what you're doing, whether you are you have a desk job or you're working at McDonald's. Competition is getting harder and harder because jobs have become more scarce.
I think part of it comes down to what you do despite whether you have a job or not, because just because you have a job doesn't mean you're a man. Just because you're making the money doesn't necessarily mean you're a man. I mean, we touched on that earlier, kind of how all the people, walking around with the grills and stuff like that. Just because, per se you had a family and a job, if you're not coming home and fulfilling your fatherly roles and things of the sort, then you're not, I don't feel like you're fulfilling your manly duties that way. My father was, he was disabled. He broke his neck a long time ago, so he has a plate in his neck. So he played stay-at-home dad because it would give him a lot of issues. But I learned a lot of life lessons from him because he grew up without a father. But he had some great role models that way. So I learned a lot of lessons through the porthole of my dad just because he was at home. So I do look up to my dad very strongly because of that.
Do you all, and I'm sure I know everyone in this room has had a job. I read off all of your occupations at the beginning of the show. Do you feel better as a man? Do you feel that do you feel more like a man when you have a job? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah. Definitely.
You do, definitely. Why? Why do you feel better as a man if you have a job as opposed to not having a job?
Okay. Situation. This is what happened to me during the summer. I was at work making income, and then I had a group of friends who came from out of town, and I used some of my paycheck, or mainly most of it, to show them a good time. And my parents understand that. Their friends out of town, they're showing them a good time. Well, it came to an occasion where I had to pay for something, and I didn't have the money right then and there. So instead of me asking for my parents for money, I took it into initiative to do whatever I have to do to pay for whatever my uniform or the thing. So, long story short, my father figured out what I did, and he's like, "You don't do that." He's like, "I understand you're trying to be a man, but you don't go and do this and this and this just to compensate not having money." He's like, "As a man, sometimes you have to sacrifice. You may have to
Do without.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes it's as a man you have to be able to ask other people. You have to let your ego go and be able to ask them for help. And that was something I was trying to. I haven't learned. It's like I'm like told my dad, I'm like, Dad, I'm 20. I want to be my own man. I was like, I understand. I understand that you're my father, but I want you to understand I'm not your boy. You're a little boy no more. I'm trying to become my own person because one day you're not going to be here. So I'm gonna have to provide for not only myself and my family. And he understand that because he said, Jaleel, you sound like me when I was your age. But it all comes from time. So it's just like, okay.
We've all had that thought, gentlemen. I want to be my own man. Or some people say, I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
We've all said that before at one point in time. I'm sure we have. I know I have. There's been a lot of times in my life where I've said things like that. And when I can only imagine when my father heard me say something like that, I could just see him looking into my eyes and telling me, what is a grown man, son? What is a grown man? And if I'm silent for more than 5 seconds, then I don't know the answer. If you're silent for more than 5 seconds when someone asks you, what is a grown man? Then you don't know the answer. You know, I can honestly say that it makes me feel better that, especially if there's a female acquaintance of mine or a female friend of mine, and let's just say I can say, hey, how about I take you out to dinner? Let me, dinner on me or treat on me. You like to be able to treat your friends. Men love that. We love to do things like that. And it'll be just a female acquaintance of mine, a female friend. Let me take you out to dinner. Even if it's not the most exclusive place in town. Because especially if she's a good friend and care about her and we have a great friendly relationship, that makes me feel good to know that I could do something for her. Because to me, that is what men do. They take care of people. They take care. And because from generation to generation to generation, that is what the essence of being a man is, to take care, to protect. And having a job with income and with money in your pocket allows you to do that, to take care of, to protect, to look after. It allows you the financial capabilities to do that. And when that is taken away from you, when that is snatched from you guys, it's quite a blow. It is. This isn't the first job that I've had. I've had plenty of jobs before I've worked for WLJS. And I can tell you, I haven't stayed at every single job that I've worked for. Every single job that I've had. And when that's stripped away from you, when that income, that paycheck that you get every 2 weeks, gone. That paycheck you got every 1st and 15th of the month, gone. Now you have to stand in a line full of other men just like you to get those funds, to receive that financial assistance, those finances that you once got from that job where you were the CEO, where you were the executive VP, where you were the general manager, where you were the head this, or director of that, or manager of this, or overseer of this, supervisor of that. You're right. It is a blow to the ego. And do you think that it's just in our nature? It's just in the nature of men to want to be powerful, to want to just own the world at whatever cost. And the fact that we want to own the world at any cost, that we do think irrationally. We do think quick, and we just think on our feet. Okay, I need to make this money, so let me go sell these drugs. I need to make this money, so let me go shoot this person's house up. I got to make this money, so let me go rob this bank. We're so quick to just think on our feet. I noticed that is a struggle for men, all men, wherever you come from, however old you are, whatever the color of your skin is. Whether you have a daddy in your life or not, that is the struggle. And I noticed that with a lot of men in the workforce. Power is so important for us because we feel as men that it was granted to us biblically. We look in the Bible, we see all these powerful men. We see these men with all these kids, all this money, all this wealth. Or we see these men on TV. Yeah, power. But you know what? I found out that the real power of a man does not come from his job title. No, it doesn't. I might be Ed Moore III, news and media director for WLJS, but I was Ed Moore III first. I was Ed Moore III first. And that is what I have to say for all of you men out there. Before you got these jobs, before you became the director, the manager, the CEO, the executive vice president, the overseer of this, the supervisor of that, remember, you were who you were first. You were your mother and your father's child first. It is because of the man you were on the inside that allowed you to have that opportunity at that job, that allowed you to have the opportunity at that high-rise tower, at that 100-foot building that you had a penthouse office where you could look out over the entire city. The person you were on the inside, your strength, your tenacity, your ability to lead allowed you to have that job. That job didn't allow you to have your insides. Your insides, who you were as a person, allowed you to have that job. It was the other way around. So if you can take that and build up whatever success you had in whatever company you worked with, whether you were making $12 an hour or $1 million an hour, you can take that. You can take that drive, that success, that want to do better, that tenacity, that stamina. You can take that and go anywhere. You can take that. You can take that. You can go anywhere. You guys. You can take it and you can go anywhere. It's not about where you are. It's not about the title that's written on your desk when you walk in. You know, his little name, what do you call it? Yeah, the plaque. Yes. It has your job title. No. You were you before you had that job title. You were whoever you were. You, Justin Johnson. You were Justin Johnson before you ever got any of your jobs. You, Jade Wiles. You were Jade Wiles before you got any of those jobs. You, Tyler Stone. You were Tyler Stone before you got any of those jobs. LaQuentin Ragland. You were LaQuentin Ragland before you got any of those jobs. Brad Richardson. You were Brad Richardson before you got any of those jobs. Colin Gresham. You were Colin Gresham before you got any of those jobs. Jaleel Atkins. You were Jaleel Atkins before you got any of those jobs. And Mr. Adam Buchanan. Before you got any of those jobs, you were Adam Buchanan. That is the final message that I have for all the men out there. Take your name and take it to any place, any job, any high-rise tower or not, any corporation, any place of work. Take your name and go anywhere. Because whatever title you had, once you're gone, that title still stays there with that company. But your name, it can go anywhere. I thank you, gentlemen, so much. I thank you so much. The Elite Eight. That is what I'm going to refer to you all for the rest of my life after this night. When I'm 85 years old, I say, I remember the Elite Eight. Who are the Elite Eight, Ed? Sit down. Let me tell you a story. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for providing your male expertise. It is my prayer, it is my hope, and it is my wish that we blessed somebody out there tonight, that we inspired somebody out there tonight